Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, my people. Today, beautiful day, beautiful weather. Everything is looking good. And ladies and gentlemen, if you come here for the first time and you're watching this video, so please subscribe to this channel to encourage us to be able to do what we do by bringing this enlightenment, to the doorsteps for people, and sometimes to try to remind us of the road that we've traveled so far to get to this point that we are, and to be able to also reconnect back to our roots, and to also remember that the journey ahead, has to be, have to be intensified in order to for us to be able to achieve or attain, you know, that very victory that we so deserve. Because we've been down for too long, and we have to stand up and pick up the pieces and stand upright and build a better future for our children and our children's children. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're coming by for the first time, please, or if you're coming around without subscribing, please just do. Look at the video there, you see the subscription button, click on it, and click on the notification bell so that whenever we have any new materials, then you'll be the first, to get them automatically. So, please give us a thumbs up, make your comment, or drop your comment, and help us to share these videos to as many people as possible, because that's the only way we'll be able to be heard. It's through you and many others like you. So thank you once again. So today, like I always like to do live in most cases in order to cut so many loops. You understand what I mean? So today we have to talk about some issues that is still bothering us. It has to do with the past general election, especially the presidential, which is crucial to every other thing. So Chimamanda said something, to Joe Biden in the US. He said the US intelligence cannot be so inept not to know that Tinubu's victory or election's victory is fraudulent, illegitimate. You know who that is? That is Chimamanda Adichie, our beautiful sister, a great writer, great poet, great literature guru. So, in an open letter to the US president on Thursday, he said, for the US to congratulate Tinubu of the APC, who was declared winner of the 2023 presidential election, deliberately manipulated, is a clear indication that Joe Biden is tarnishing American self-proclaimed commitment to democracy. This thing was just happened yesterday. So here he said, one of Nigeria's foremost novelists, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, has lambasted President Joe Biden of the United States over the United States as all U.S. State Department congratulatory message to Nigeria's president-elect Bola Tinubu. So, but you see, something just happened this yesterday. So, but what is clear now is that if you know what happened last week, was it last week or earlier this week? Earlier this week, this Friday. Earlier this week, this man, Lai Mohammed, went to US. In one of my past videos, I said something like this because I know that one of these days they will start to run from pillar to post, and they'll be, going through these consultant companies, and firms or lobbyists or lobby groups within the US and the so-called, you know, and champions of democracy like the US and Britain and etc. What they do is that you pay money to a firm. It's like a law firm, but they are lobbyists. They have people in the Congress and stuff like that. They have so if you have millions to spare, definitely somebody will go in there and try to lobby for you. Then before you know it, your message will get to the White House. So corruption is not only an African thing. Corruption is worldwide. It's all about money and the power that money can exercise. So that's what is happening now. So Lai Mohammed, the information minister, was speaking from Washington some few days ago. Then now all of a sudden, yesterday, the US president has now sent a congratulatory message to Tinubu, the so-called president-elect. So that was when Chimamanda have to write this open letter to this man. We all know that Joe Biden was the vice president of Barack Obama when um, Buhari was about to run for president in 2014 and 2015 or thereabout. When Obama have to invite them to the White House, and start to tell them, or ask them if they were ready to take power, etc., etc. Therefore, he started putting pressure on Jonathan then, and by calling Jonathan's government very corrupt, etc. Before you know it, then Britain was into that same ship, then they start to accuse the Goodluck Jonathan's government of all kinds of, corruption cases and things that he never knew anything about. So that was how they were able to, you know, galvanize all kinds of support or Western so-called Western support then to tarnish the image of the government of the day as at that time. So now I'm not surprised that the same Buhari who is still the government right now and the same people who are still who were the financier of that same government as at that time, are the same people now running back to Washington to try to use the same what they call it channels to try to get some endorsement to feel, I mean, a little bit of legitimacy, and what have you. I guess they must have struck it because I've said it before that definitely if Tinubu give them any deal, or if you offer them any deal, then that will be it. Next thing they will come out and start to, sing praises, and they don't care really if you have a corrupt government in Africa because what they actually want is for you not to have a functional government or a functional system in Africa that works, so that they'll be able to always get, what they are getting or get those things for free. So that's what they've always done. That's what they will continue to do. As long as you open the door for them to be doing that, they will continue to do that. You wanted to tarnish you, to exploit you, to downgrade you, whatever thing that you wanted to do, as far as they can do it, or they have the access, or you give them the key to that door, they will open that door and go in there and do what they have to do. Because for them, it's all about it. For their own, it's all about their survival. They don't actually care if Africa live or die. So it's like that. So I'm not surprised about this. So, but what is surprising is that I'm just finding it out now. So the open letter I read, said, um, in the open letter, Adichie said Tinubu's announced victory by INEC was illegitimate, as the process of the February 25th presidential election was not marred by technical force as claimed by the INEC, but a deliberate manipulation, by the electoral umpire. saying that the election was full of discrepancies and irregularities, which were all shunned by the INEC chairman. So, Adichie stated in a letter, since the end of military rule in 1999, Nigeria have had little confidence in elections. So to vote in the presidential election was to brace yourself for the inevitable aftermath. Fraud. Elections will be rigged because elections were always rigged. The question was, how badly? Sometimes voting felt like an inconsequential gesture as predetermined as predetermined winners were announced even before the elections take place. So, so a law passed last year in 2022, Electoral Act, changed everything. It gave legal backing to the electronic accreditation of voters and the electronic transmission of results in a process determined by the INEC, Independent Electoral Commission, INEC. So the chair of the commission, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, assured Nigerians that votes will be counted in the presence of voters and recorded in a result sheet, and that a photo of the signed sheet would immediately be uploaded to a secure server. When rumors circulated about the commission's not keeping to its words, Yakubu firmly rebutted them. In a speech at Chatham House in London, a favorite influence burnishing haunt of Nigerian politicians, he reiterated that the public will be able to view polling units results as soon as they are finalized on election day. Nigerians applauded him. If results were uploaded right after voting was concluded, then the ruling party, the APC, which has been in power since 2015, will have no opportunity for manipulation. Technology would redeem Nigeria democracy. So results will no longer feature more votes than voters, which means there won't be any overvoting. So Nigeria will no longer have their leaders chosen for them. Elections would finally capture the true voice of the people, or the true choice of the people. And so trust and hope were born. By the evening of February 25th in 2023, that trust had dissipated. Election workers had arrived hours late or without basic electronic or election materials. He said there were reports of violence, of a shooting at a polling unit, and of political operatives stealing or destroying ballot boxes. Some law enforcement officers seem to have colluded in voter intimidation in Lagos. A policeman stood idly by as an APC spokesperson threatening members of a political ethnic group, of a particular ethnic group who he believed would vote for the opposition. According to her, the INEC chairman Mahmoud Yakubu, despite promising a free and credible election, hastily announced Tinubu as the winner of the election without investigating reports of irregularities recorded during the elections across the nation. So Adichie noted that the elections were not only rigged, but it insulted the intelligence of Nigerians as there was no legal action to issue or to issues of evident manipulations reported. So she said, most egregious of all, the Electoral Commission renegades on its assurance to Nigerians. The presidential results were not uploaded in real time. So voters, understandably suspicious, reacted. Videos from polling units show voters shouting that results be uploaded right away. Many took to their cell phones photos of the result sheets. Curiously, many polling units were able to upload the results of the House and Senate elections, but not the presidential elections. So no one was surprised when by the morning of the 26th, social media became flooded with evidence of irregularities. Result sheets were now slowly being uploaded on the INEC portal and could be viewed by the public. Voters compared their cell phone photos with the uploaded photos and saw alterations. Members, they said numbers crossed out and rewritten. Some originally written in black ink have been rewritten in blue. Some blunt, some blunderingly weeded out with tippers. The election have been not only rigged but done in such a shoddy, shabby manner that it insulted the intelligence of Nigerians. As vote counting began, at INEC representatives of different political parties, except for the APC, protested the result being counted. They said did not reflect what they had documented at the polling units. There were too many discrepancies. It seemed truly perplexing that in the context of a closely contested election in a low-trust society, the Electoral Commission would ignore so many glaring red flags in its rush to announce a winner. It had the power to pause vote counting, to investigate irregularities, as it would do in the governorship election 2 weeks later. Adichie then berated the US government, saying it was shocking that the US State Department congratulated Tinubu and further described the election as a competitive election that represents a new period for Nigeria politics and democracy. American intelligence surely cannot be so inept. A little homework and they would have what is manifestly obvious to me and so many others that the process was so imperiled not by technical shortcomings but by deliberate manipulations. So asking Joe Biden to uphold his stance on the need for a true democracy, adding that congratulating Tinubu will be endorsing the illegitimate process that produced him as president-elect. So I hope that Joe Biden, that you do not personally share this cordial condescension. So you have spoken of the importance of a global community for democracy and the need to stand up for justice and the rule of law. A global community for democracy cannot thrive in the face of apathy from its most powerful member. Why would the US, which prioritizes the rule of law, endorse the president-elect who has emerged from an unlawful process? This Nigerian election was supposed to be different, and the US response cannot, must not be business as usual. Congratulating its outcome, Joe Biden tarnishes American self-proclaimed commitment to democracy. Please do not give the sheen of legitimacy to an illegitimate process. The United States should be what it says it is. So that's just the way it goes. So while some Nigerians are saying, this is a Nigerian issue, and what have you, on the comment section, and the other one said that, well, the US cannot jump into Nigerian matters and start to, tell them what's up and whatnot. So, but what you have to understand here is that ordinarily the US don't really care who becomes the president of Nigeria, and they don't care the system because if the US has been sponsoring coup and counter coups all over Africa all these decades, do you think they really care? They don't really care. The kind of government that you have. What they care about is their own interest. It's where their interests are. Because this man is Joe Biden, for example, he was the vice president under Obama, so he was one of those people that entrenched or sponsored, whether with some moral support or what have you, to bring a Buhari into that seat of power right now. So if they can bring any other moron to become Nigeria president tomorrow, and that person is ready to play ball with them or give them whatever thing that they're asking, of course they will do it. So that is it. And a desperate man like Tinubu is willing to do anything just to be accepted. So that's the way it is, and that's the way it goes. So that's why I always said, don't always hope or think that the West are there for your own, you know, to protect your interest or to do things the way that it favors Nigeria or Africa as a whole. No, they only come to your country when they think there is something there to be made. So if there's nothing there for them, they will go home. Even their so-called peace keeping missions all over the places, they're always going there to start looking for some, raw materials and things like that that they can take or loot, without following a due process and things like that. That's what they do. So they can come there whether in military uniform and military gear and what have you. They have the engineers with them who are going around scanning the floor and on the ground and looking for mineral resources. And most of these resources, they already know where they are. They know where they are deposited in which part of the country those things are deposited. So it's not like they are really coming there to do anything for you. Like in Congo, they be there for in Congo. How come the peace is not coming back to Congo up to now? Rather, instead of things to get better, things will be getting worse. Because it's only when things get worse that's when they feed more, on the blood of the innocent and things like that. So, and apart from that, even if there's a war in Nigeria today, who do you think will benefit more from the war? It's the same US. So they get all the mineral resources that they want, as at when they want it without any regulation whatsoever. Then they supply you arms, you know. You want guns, they give it to you, and you want anything you want, just like what they are doing in Ukraine right now. So they are supplying arms to Ukraine, whether through some front doors or some back doors, or they use some of those adjacent, countries that are bordering Ukraine, to supply those stuff. So that's what they always do. That's what they've always done, and that's what they will continue to do. So Chimamanda, you said your bit, but that is just what the US is, and that is what they've always been. So, but the thing is that just yesterday here I was just discussing with a friend of mine, and we are just talking about this whole thing that okay, this man has not been endorsed by a country like a great democracy like the US, for example. So that is a plus, for the oppositions of those people who are trying to retrieve their mandate, like Obi and you know, and every other uh, political actors who think that they stand a chance. So but now all of a sudden, waking up this morning, only to find that the U.S. State Department has already issued a congratulatory message yesterday. So I wouldn't know if Joe Biden actually asked that man to do that, but so long that man is working for the U.S. State Department, so we assume that it's working for the government, of course, so that he was actually asked to do that. So, but the question is that Laila Mohammed is in the US and this thing is taking place. So I guess must have went there for with some bags of cash, to share for the boys, so that they be running around, all the state departments and all kinds of departments that will give them their kind of endorsement that they need. So the other day it was all those monkey mushroom countries and stuff like that. So that they are giving money to for endorsement. So now this one is new. So, but let's hope that this thing will not go far because whatever it is, then the judiciary still have to be the last hope of the common man. I would say. So the common man now are the Nigeria populace who voted for their candidate, and we all know who they voted for. So let's hope that Peter Obi and the Labour Party will be able to retrieve, their mandate. So that's just the way we hope that things will go at the end of the day. So whether they go east, west, north, south, at the end of the day, let's hope that the judiciary will be bold enough to say this time around, you know, then we have to stand on the side of the people, and they stand fully and make sure that the people retrieve their mandate. So that's it. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for passing by. You know, so if you've not subscribed to our channel, please do so, and give us a thumbs up and help us to share this video and let it go viral. You know, so bless you. And